tutorial, I'm going to explain how to create the Christmas charm bracelet. So you can see I have all of the supplies laid out here. We start with a variety of jump rings. We have the bead spacers, the rhinestone bead spacers, rhinestone beads, tassels, a variety of charms and beads as well, and then of course the clasp, and I'm using the Lobster Clasp. These are head pins. You can tell they're a head pin because they have the flat bottom and a length of chain that is big enough to fit around the wrist. For this particular one, it's going to be worn by a child. So to begin, I'm going to grab a head pin and start with the bead that I want to use. And you have to be careful, some of the beads have too large of a hole where the head pin would slide out. So I'm going to use one of these spacer beads first to put on there. And the bead goes on, and then I'm going to use the wire cutters to cut some of the length off of the head pin. Now I'm using what are called round nose pliers. You can see the tip is round. I'm going to grab the tip of the head pin and curve my wrist to create a loop at the top. And that's what will be used to attach to the bracelet itself. So at this point, I'm just going to continue on creating these little beaded segments. I'll go through, just use a combination of the beads, it doesn't matter. And when I come back, everything will be ready to go. Okay, you can see I have all of my segments created, and what I'm going to do at this point is create my tassels. So I'm going to take the tassel, the string part, and what is called a bead cap. Sometimes you can use a bead cone if you prefer. And I'm going to get a head pin, again, slide it through the top just so that the head pin, the end of it, will keep it from sliding out all the way. It's not going to really matter what this inside part looks like, it's going to be covered. So slide the bead cap on, and if you want, you can take your pliers and pull the end of the head pin a little bit to make sure it's all the way through. Clip the top of the head pin to cut off the excess, and again grab your round nose pliers and make a loop like this. There we go. And you can see now the little tassel segment is created and ready to put onto the chain. So I'm going to go ahead and create the rest of these. All right, the tassels are created. My beaded segments are ready. At this point, I'm just going to kind of lay them out to see where I want everything to go. Let's see, I'm going to alternate those and start placing in the beaded segments. Just trying to make sure I space out the colors the best I can. Obviously these segments are different, so once she puts the bracelet on, it's going to just kind of all blend together anyway, so you can't really mess this part up. So let's finish laying all of these out. And they may not stay exactly like this, so that part's fine. And then I also want to make sure I include the little snowflake charms as well. So let's space those out. All right, I think that's good. So at this point, I'm going to take a jump ring, which is the small ring with the little opening. You can see here closer. I'm going to take my bent nose pliers, you can use just the flat nose pliers as well, and open it. I think it's easier if you use two pairs of pliers, one in each hand. But I'm going to slide it on the loop of my first segment that I want to put on, which is the tassel. And I'm just going to hook it on one of the links of chain, like so. Take my other pair of pliers and close up the jump ring completely. You need to make sure it's closed completely or these little segments are going to fall off. So there's the first part of it. So I'm going to go through and finish attaching the rest of these pieces. Again, trying to keep everything spaced out. And again, we'll go with the next one and carry on from there. Okay, now I have all of the segments on there. I'm going to attach the lobster clasp. So again, I'm going to grab a jump ring, open it up, slide the little loop on the clasp onto the ring, and I'm going to attach this to the very last link of one end of the chain. So let's find the link here, attach it, and again take my other pair of pliers to close this jump ring up. And at that point, the bracelet is finished. I'm just going to find whichever link on the other end I want to hook this onto, depending on the size of her wrist. I always have a little bit of extra to make it adjustable. So you can see the adorable little Christmas charm bracelet, super easy to make, a lot of fun to do if you want to do this over the holidays with your kids. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.